Hey everybody, welcome back to Hunk and Junk. Man, I've been taking a little bit of break from toys here for the past couple of weeks and just kind of doing summertime things. You know, here in Kentucky, you got to take advantage of the nice weather. Plus, my shop don't have any air conditioning, so it gets pretty hot back here sometimes during the day. But today, I'm going to get back at it. And I'm not just going to get back at it doing some random toy and lowering it or doing something minor. I'm going to do something really cool, man. This is a build that I've done for a long time, and I've done several of them, and people have asked me how I do it, and where do I get my metal, blah blah blah. And I have a good friend who's recently had surgery, and he's going to be in the bed for the next couple of weeks, and this one, it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get it done, so I figured what better time to do it than the present. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you a canned ham camper. Ooh. And it's going to have the ridges in the sides. The door will open. So stay tuned. Get you something cold to drink. Hang out for a little while, because I'm going to probably take about 20-30 minutes on this video. So it's going to be a little bit of a long one. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with you. Now let me show you what I got going on here. This thing is rough as a cob, man. Like I say, I built this probably back in 2019, 2018, somewhere around in there, and it's the very first canned ham I've done. Up until this point, I had never cut in a square hole really for a window. So as you can see, basically what I've done is I just cut a big X with my Ziz wheel and bent them over. Makes for a nice smooth edge, but it don't really work out too well. Plus, I didn't do the bottom very good either. You know, I was really just learning my spot welder and stuff, but I learned a lot by doing this build. And today, I'm going to show you how much different I do it today than I did back then. How much more the quality has progressed with the practice that I've had. What I use for these is a big U-Haul box. Now this one has been stripped down. Basically all you do is grind off the rivet heads and pop everything out, and you'll get to this shell. Right? What you're going to need is some shears. These are handy dandy Gilson shears. You've seen these a lot. I use them all the time. And I got my red handle and my green handle shears. You'll get a good example of what each one of these are used for today. So, we'll come right along here. Look at there. See how them Gilson shears go right around that bend right there? And they don't marl up your metal, they don't marl up your edge. These are brilliant. And they work great on pressed steel toys. They're actually aviation shears. Let's see, I can just go right down through there. Now, this should just pull right out. I use this for another build. That's why I wanted to cut it and leave this lip. But I have another piece that I'm going to use. I'm not actually going to use this. So, now on this side, we're going to use our green handled shears because they just cut it way better. Well, on this side. So, this is what you end up with. You got your sides and your roof. I'm going to use these because they're already etched and they're already de-painted. Okay. Lay our piece on there. Line it up just as perfectly as you can with your template. If you want to draw it out on a template first. There. Now that I have this piece traced out, now you got your one side cut out. What I always like to do is the first side that I cut out, I like to use it to trace out my other side. It just tends to work out a lot better than trying to use your template again, because you've already got the lines on this one that you need. That's why we have files and shears, because we can cut it. There we go. Now we got our camper sides with the ribs. So then what you're going to want to do is make a door. So let me get some metal and I'll show you how I do that, because you want to make your door and then trace your door out instead of making your hole then trying to make the door. Do the door first. So let's do that. Grab me a piece of scrap metal here, and it's a little bit over 2 inches wide, so I want to make my door 1 1/4 inches. So, and I'm going to come up from the bottom 1/2 inch, and let's see here, come up 1/2 inch, and kind of want my door to be probably that tall. So it needs to be 3 inches tall by 1 1/4 inches. 3 by 1 1/4 inches. So what I'm going to do here, 1 1/4 inches, I'm going to add, well, it's already there, 2 1/4. I'm going to add 1/2 inch all the way around. Then I can trim that off. I didn't realize that was 2 1/4. Check this side. Yeah, cool beans. Sometimes you just get lucky. By 3, so we'll make that 4. Alright. Alright. We go cut this off. I'll be right back. Alright. Got my little piece cut out. So now I'm going to come in, I'm going to measure, well, I come in a little bit under. So instead of doing 1/2 inch, I'm going to do 3/8. Alright. And so I'm going to do 3/8 from 1/4 right there. And I'm measuring from this corner so that everything will be accurate. Now, use my handy dandy tool so give me a good straight line. There's absolutely better ways to do this. And I would suggest that you watch a few other guys if you want to do this kind of stuff and kind of learn the right way of how to do this kind of sheet metal stuff. Maybe I can just kind of open the door for you and get your interest piqued with my lack of knowledge, but my drive to do. I'll put me a hole where I want my window. You need your window. Well, that's way off. How in the world? Oh. Well, duh. Yeah. Got the pilot hole. Okay, so my shear, my brake I should say, doesn't have a finger that will work for my sides. It does have a finger that'll work for the ends, but not the sides. So I'm going to use my vise to bend my sides, and I'm going to go over to my brake and do my ends. So, but you can do it like this without a brake. You can just put the ends inside the end of the vise and bend them over. But I like to use my brake when I can, so let me get out here and look. I got my lines marked, and I'm going to line those marks up with the top of my vise. I got my two sides. Now I'm going to go do my ends. We are at the shear. See, it's got these little fingers here. I'm going to use the one down here on the end. Sorry you can't really see it. See? There, we got a door. Now we're going to trim all this off, make it nice and flat. Alright, so I got my door all bent up. It's still just a little bit rough, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it, and take your finger and put it right on the edge of your marker. Just run right down through there like that. There. Now, campers usually have the door on the passenger side, because if you break down on the road and you need to get in your camper, then you'll be getting in and out of your camper on the passenger side of the vehicle away from the road. So your camper door is going to be on the passenger side. So you want it to open like this, because when the wind is coming past your camper, you don't want it to catch the door and fling it off. So you want the camper to open, the door to open to where the wind can make sure the stays closed going down the road. So also I'm going to put me a line right here. That way I got a little meat right there for my pin. There we go. Where do I want to start? Right there is good. Right up there to the line. There. Now we can file this down and get all that nice and pretty. But so far we got a pretty good looking door. Right on. Alright, next thing I want to do here is kind of clean that up a little bit. Just kind of need something to clean it up on. That'll work. Next thing I need to do is mark out my door and my windows. Then I can put these two together. I can spot weld the sides together, put them on my little handy dandy sander and get them exactly the same. Then when I drill them out, I'll drill out the spot welds at the same time I'm drilling my hole for that. See what I'm saying? Are you smelling what I'm selling? Right on. Looks pretty dang good right there. I think I'm gonna put him right there. Close enough for what I'm doing at the moment. A square window. Right about there. And it's going to be about that big. Right on. Right like that. Now this one, what am I going to do? Line them up like this. So I know I got to have a spot weld somewhere in this vicinity right here, and somewhere in this vicinity right here. Now what I'm going to do is, I got my spot welder out. I'm not going to worry too much about my outer edge. This is the only edge I'm worried about, and in here especially. So I want to make sure that I line all that up perfectly. What I'm going to do now is normally I use a belt sander, but not many of you have a belt sander and a throatless shear and some of the tools that I have. That's why I'm using my 10 snips and a vise. Trying to show you how to do some of this stuff without the fancy tools, the old school way. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to put this in there like that. And I'm going to have to move the camera. That should do it. Basically all I'm really trying to do is just bring them down to where they're both identical. And you just put them in your vise and go to filing. Oh, got us a real nice shape. Yeah. Well guys, I think that's just about going to wrap us up for this week. I got my side cut out, got my door marked, my windows marked, and I got my door made. And that's a pretty big task, takes a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off now because I'm kind of running low on time. But you can see we got our sides ready to take apart. And ready to go ahead and cut out our door and our windows and start the assembly process. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow, and thank you very, very much for watching. Y'all have a great day.